guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while, but I'm happy to be back. And for my first video back, I thought I would follow on from my brand focus series. I'm not even sure if I gave it that title, but let's go with that because that seems to work quite well. So the last video within this series, in fact the first and last video, was my Arket review. This one is going to be the second one, and the brand focus today is on H&M. So as I mentioned in the Arket video, what I'm going to try and do for each one of these videos is feature some new items, which I have here and here, some older items, and then I've kind of got some semi-new items. So these pieces I've bought within the last week, these within the last 3 months, and I've got some sort of classics on the end which I've bought from H&M over the last few years, which I absolutely love. But without further ado, I'm going to get started with the newest items that I have bought from H&M. Now, it's worth me mentioning that I don't always keep everything from within these videos, but I had a look online, had a look in store, picked up some pieces which I really like, they stood out to me, and yeah, I'm going to try them on and just have a chat about them. So first item is this blouse. Would you call it a blouse? FYI, my mirror is here, so if I keep shifting to this viewpoint, that's why. I'm just checking myself out. Yeah, I would say this is a blouse. It's navy blue, but it does come in 2 other colours. It comes in like an off-white cream and also a khaki green. So quite sort of muted colours. Now this is from the Trend collection, and for those of you who are not perhaps really familiar with H&M, there are so many different departments within H&M, and I don't just mean men's, women's, kids and home. I mean within women's alone, there's divided, trend, premium, mainline, maternity, sports, underwear, nightwear. There are so many different labels within just the women's wear brand itself. So my favourites tend to be the Conscious collection, Trend and premium. A lot of the premium items tend to be online only, so that's my first sort of tip trick, is always have a look. Even if you don't particularly enjoy online shopping, they have some really good premium items within that collection, so it's always worth having a look online. So yes, this blouse is from the Trend collection. The Trend collection tends to be a slightly higher price point to the mainline, but in my personal opinion, it's always a little bit better made. It's nicer fabric, and as the name would suggest, it's always quite a trend orientated collection. And I have found some amazing items within these Trend collections over the last few years. I can't tell you guys how much I love a bit of H&M Trend. Now this shirt is $34.99. I only bought it a couple of days ago, so it should be fully in stock. It's made out of 85% modal fabric. Now modal fabric, I believe, is termed as a semi-synthetic fabric. It's the fibre itself, which is made from cellulose from beech trees, is a natural fibre, but because of the process that turns it into a fabric, that's why it's called semi-synthetic. However, it is supposed to be a more environmentally friendly process that turns it into a fibre. So it is a better fabric to be wearing. And I personally really like modal. It's nice and sort of lightweight. I find it quite breathable. It's not as breathable as cotton, but cotton obviously is an incredibly breathable fabric. But yeah, I just find it nice and sort of almost silky, but a slightly thicker silk. It's hard to describe. I think it's also in the feel of it. It's a very, very soft fabric. This could work for something like brunch, but I also think this blouse, along with the cream colour and the khaki, could also work really well as a spring update or a spring summer update for your workwear wardrobe as well, if perhaps you work in an office. I think it's definitely smart enough, but there is a little bit of sort of fashion trend in there as well. Now in terms of size, this is something that I did really want to mention. I am wearing a size 12. I sized up. Because I saw this in store, I pulled it out on the hanger and I thought, size 10 looks like it's going to be a little bit more fitted, and I imagine it would have been a little bit more fitted. But you guys know me by now, and you know that I like to blouse things up. I like things a little bit more oversized. So if you like that kind of fit like I do, then I would definitely size up by 1 size. Right, next item. Now, because I've got a pair of jeans on, these are by Arket, by the way, which is the same family as H&M, and again, they'll be linked down below in the description box. But because I've got jeans on, I'm going to stick with tops. So my next item is this shirt. This is from the Conscious collection, and here we go. So it's quite a basic shirt. I do sometimes find that the Conscious collection is quite good at doing those classic basics, and if you're looking for something that's a little bit more environmentally friendly when buying those basics, it's always a good shout. This is actually one of the reasons why I like H&M. It is undeniably a fast fashion brand, but they're one of the very few high street brands within the UK that actually are doing something with their brand and have made promises with dates for their brand to try and transform how they manufacture clothes and all that kind of stuff. So they are a brand that is making a conscious effort. They're also one of the few UK brands, or I know it's not a UK based brand, but one that you can buy in the UK that does have a more conscious collection. There's a lot of brands out there that are literally making zero effort. So I know H&M can sometimes get a bit of a bad rep, but I think credit where credit is due. They are actually trying and actively looking into ways that they can better themselves to help with our environment. So yes, as I mentioned, this is from their Conscious collection. It's made out of 100% lyocell, which is very similar to modal fabric. It's quite silky, it's really soft. Excuse some of the creases, I've left it untucked for now just so you guys can see how long it is. It has this sort of dip hem, so slightly longer at the back than at the front, with like a little sort of V shape here. The sleeves are actually a little bit short, but this doesn't bother me so much because I never ever wear sleeves like this. Anyway, I'm going to roll them up, and as you can probably see here on the side, there is a little button here for you to secure it. I barely ever use those things, to be honest, because I normally roll up my sleeves longer than the button is because I like to show off my tattoo on this side. There we go. So this is more accurate to how I would probably style this shirt. Nice casual shirt for summer, nice and breathable. Size wise, I'm wearing this in a size 10 and I'd say that's just right. Perfect amount of sort of oversized, so it's already cut on the oversized fit. You don't really need to size up. And it was $29.99, which for the Conscious collection I think is really good value for money. And because it's a classic, it's going to be one of those items, especially as this kind of fabric washes really well, that's going to last you year upon year upon year. Now my next item is this linen t-shirt. It's actually a long sleeve, which I barely have any long sleeve basics, but I picked up this one because a few years ago I bought these linen basics also from H&M, and these are sort of the vesty ones, so I have it in a charcoal and this creamy colour here. And this fabric is the same as this. They're from the premium line. So this is 100% linen, really nice and breathable, nice and lightweight, washes incredibly well. Like I said, these are a few years old now and they still wash really well. Need a bit of an iron, but I've only just got them out of the storage tubs. So I thought I would try a slightly different basic, and I went for this long sleeved one. This is in sort of a, what do you say, a beigey colour. Massive colour of the season, by the way, which is very fortunate for me, seeing as I love a bit of beige. And yeah, let's give it a try. Right, admittedly, have the wrong colour of underwear on underneath, but we'll just breeze past that. I'm going to first of all address size, because you guys will probably notice that this is quite oversized and it might start to slip off the shoulder. Actually looks quite cool with a black bra on underneath. This is also H&M, by the way. That's how much I love a bit of H&M. So yes, I got this in a size large. For two reasons. The first reason was because large was the only size that was available at the time when I ordered it. And actually I'm really glad that I went for large because, as I mentioned earlier and as you guys will know, I love the oversized fit of things. I just like things to be roomy, especially on top. I like them more breathable. And for this item, for summer, I think it works really well being oversized. So I'm going to tuck it in because I feel like that's how I would wear it. But it is a pretty decent length. Obviously, bear in mind it's going to get longer the larger you go. So I'm a UK size 10 and it's quite a thin fabric, so when you're tucking, because it's quite long, you obviously get a lot of bulk excess fabric which is tucked in around this region. And I know lots of you guys always ask about my tucking technique and how to avoid that sort of ring around here. You don't really get that with this kind of top because the fabric is so thin. You can just make sure you tuck it all the way down and then do my little technique of lifting your arms up, and it gives the perfect amount of untuck. And price wise, it was $17.99, which I know some of you might think is quite expensive for a basic. I actually think that that's really reasonable, and considering the length of time that I've had these vests, I think that this is well worth it for a linen basic. It's probably the best fabric that you can get in terms of breathability for summer. Right, moving on to my next item, which is a blazer. And I know some of you have been saying on my Instagram you've been having blazer withdrawal symptoms because I obviously disappeared for a little while. Well, here we go. I'm back. The blazers are back. It's all good. Right, so this blazer, this was from the Trend collection, hence why it's so awesome. I actually saw this blazer online, and then I went into my Blue Water store, saw it in there and thought, oh, I'll try it on, because I was a little bit unsure on size. With a lot of blazers in H&M I size up, and then some of them I don't. Some of them I've actually sized down and gone down to a size 8 because they've been that oversized. This one I picked up, saw it in a size 10, tried it on, thought yes, this is perfect. It is quite oversized already, so there's no need to size up. If anything, because unfortunately this blazer only goes up to a UK size 12, which I think that's a little bit bad. I'm sure you're probably all in agreement with me, but if anything, if you preferred a blazer not super oversized, I reckon the size 12 would go up to a 14. So if you needed to, you could technically always size down. Now, I think I would go so far as to say this has probably been one of my best blazer purchases ever. And I know that's a bold statement to make, especially when it comes to me in blazers, but it's this longer length, like the boyfriend length as it's called. It is beige and it's single breasted. So we're ticking all of my blazer criteria, and it's oversized. I absolutely love it. It was $49.99, also from the Trend collection. I think it is incredible value for money. The only downside is the fabric. It's 96% polyester. However, the saving grace is the lining, which is 100% viscose. So they've kind of met us halfway in the lining. Right, now I'm going to move on to dresses. Yes, it's that time of year. It is the season where I wear actual real life dresses. So this is my first one. This was actually from mainline H&M, so the normal range. And I normally avoid this range, if I'm being brutally honest. There's often a lot of items which I do really like, but perhaps the fabric isn't quite right. I don't like the feel, I don't like the fit. But this I actually saw online. It comes in 3 different colours / prints. It's a bit vintage looking. I know it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea and you're all going to be like, that is a granny dress. But I like it, and at the end of the day, personal style is all about what you like and what you feel comfortable in. So I'm going to give it a try, and hopefully I can turn you guys around to loving this dress. And here we go. So, as I just referenced, it is a bit of like a vintagey vibe. I personally really like this washed out, sort of looks like it's been in the wash a few too many times. I like that. It's very much up my street. And this sort of vintage tea dress vibe is something that a lot of brands are doing at the moment. A lot of sort of mid-range brands are doing this whole kind of collection. And even some of my favourite brands for summer, like Faithful, they often do a lot of this kind of sort of ditzy tea dress vibe as well. We've got a little bit of detail, a little bit of ruching on the sleeve there. Sleeves are a good length as well if, like me, you're not particularly a big fan of getting your arms out. And then we've got button up all the way down the front and this V-neck. Now it's worth me mentioning the size. I stuck true to size with this, so I went for a size 10. However, it is quite loose fitting, which I like for this particular dress. I think it actually works. I like that I've got a bit of room in here for summer. I can go to Greenwich, sit at Nando's up on the rooftop in the sun, and I'm comfortable. But if you wanted something a little bit more fitted, then you could very well size down one size. Now in terms of that's putting me off. This is the perfect time for someone to start hammering outside the studio. Now in terms of fabric, this is 100% viscose, which is why I actually picked it up and added it to my virtual basket, because as I said earlier, I tend to avoid H&M mainline because they use a lot of polyester, but viscose is a fabric which I personally really like. I find it lightweight, I find it really floaty and nice for summer, but if this kind of print isn't particularly your cup of tea, there are two other versions as well. One is a yellowy colour, which is really pretty for summer if you can pull off yellow, and I've forgotten what the other one is, but there's a couple of different styles as well, but it's obviously the same shape and style of dress. Now I do have a second dress for you all. What a treat! And this one I think is a little bit more sort of worky inspired, and it's a shirt dress. It does also have a belt, and this one again is from the Conscious collection. All the safari vibes. Now I love this because it's beige. And I love me some beige, but I do think that this could potentially, depending on your place of work well as a nice dress for if you work in an office or somewhere, reception maybe, I don't know. Again, it does depend on the sort of dress code, but I think this is a nice little summer update for a work dress. You could quite easily pair this with some court shoes if you're not allowed to wear open toe shoes. Otherwise, some like little sort of mid-heel strappy sandals or some slingbacks. Yeah, I love it. There is severe safari vibes with this. Now, it has some tortoiseshell buttons here, and tortoiseshell buttons which are done up, which are sort of concealed with this little flap. Ample amounts of pockets, 2 pockets here, 2 pockets on the breast. Now I would probably roll up the sleeves just because I feel like I wouldn't wear it in such a formal way. I would be wearing this a little bit more casual with a basket bag and with a pair of flat sandals, potentially my Hermes slides, which I have just whipped out of storage. I'm excited to get them going again for this season. But it's really beautifully made. Fabric wise, it is 90% lyocell and 10% polyester, and I believe that H&M in the Conscious collection use recycled polyester. Now if it's blended with another fabric, I'm not sure if that's still the case. Might be worth looking online. I'll have a research of that as well. But either way, 90% lyocell was pretty decent, and it is a really nice dress. Price wise, it is $39.99, so I think that's a really, really good price for something like this. Right, now I've got one more item to show you guys that is new in that I've purchased this week, and that is a pair of jeans, because after all, it wouldn't be an Emma Hill video without some denim. These are from the Trend collection. They're $29.99 and they are a slim leg fit. The waist is, I'd say, mid-rise, so normal waist. I've gone for these in a size 10, and actually there's a decent amount of room in there, so I'm quite happy about that. These would definitely be a buffet jean. They are a little bit cropped, but I do like a crop style, but they're not so cropped that they're swinging up sort of mid-calf level. They are a decent sort of ankle crop on me. I love the shade of the denim. I believe these also come in a mid-blue denim as well, and potentially, I think they might also come in a black as well. They're a good, they're an okay fit. As I said, they are a little bit big, so you can see like there's a little bit of room here. But then if I went down a size, if I went to a size 8, I know that they would be really tight and I would be like, ugh. So this is what I mean about H&M sizing. Sometimes it's a little bit off. But I can't complain too much because this is a pretty decent pair of jeans for 30 quid. Right, now I know I said that these were actually my last new in item, but I neglected my accessories, which I also have. So I got 2 pairs of sunglasses here. I do have quite a lot of designer sunglasses, but by no means am I a designer sunglasses snob. I am quite happy to wear a pair of H&M sunglasses, and for the most part, unless you need a prescription lens, sunglasses pretty much all do the same job anyway. So this pair I've picked up, these are also available in black as well, so I'm going to pop these on. I really like these, and I actually think that I'm going to go back and buy the black oval pair as well, because I really like this shape. Again, it's a little bit more sort of vintagey. I just find it really easy to wear. I'm normally always wearing hoop earrings, and I just like that kind of combination, and I think it works well with my hair at this shorter length as well. So that's those. These are $6.99, which I think bargain. Good, decent price for a pair of sunglasses. Now pair number 2, are a little bit chunkier, and I've gone for these in black. So these are a square shape. These are a slightly bigger frame size, so I wouldn't have said I have a particularly small head. I would say I have like an average size head and face, but these are a lot bigger. So if you do have a smaller face, just be aware that these are quite large, so they're going to be potentially a little bit bug-eyed. But these also come in an olive green. They're also $6.99, and again, quite a classic sort of non-trend orientated shape, I think. Yeah, $6.99. Not bad at all. And staying with accessories, H&M have really good fashion jewellery. Admittedly, it doesn't last very long, but if it's for a special occasion and it's something, you know, that you're looking to just jazz up an outfit, or even just for sort of one season, if there's a specific jewellery trend, like an earring trend, for example. So from H&M, this is what I've decided to go for. So it's a little two set of hoops. The bottom ones are like a tortoiseshell effect, and the top ones are gold. So they're a nice little variation. 2-pack for $8.99. In my first holes, I can indeed wear any kind of fashion jewellery. In my second holes, third holes, and my specialist piercings, I can't really wear any of this kind of jewellery. But in my first holes, I can, so I thought I would pick these up to just jazz up a few of my outfits. Quite interesting. I really like the top gold ones, and these little tortoiseshell ones as well. A nice little interesting item for summer, I think. And then moving on to H&M shoes. So I picked up 2 pairs of suede loafers. Bought both of these online. Both of them are from the premium collection because they are suede. They're both really nicely made. Ever so slightly different in colour. So these ones are more of a tan, these ones are more of a beige. And the only sort of noticeable difference, bar this sort of flappy bit here on the top of this one, these ones are a collapsible back, which I would never wear like that anyway. I would wear them as a proper loafer. And these ones, we'll talk about these ones first, have the elasticated back, which notoriously my feet don't get on with these, but I'm going to give them a go because I really like this colour and really like this style. So I've gone for these in a Euro size 41, which I think H&M term as a UK 7.5, 7.5. Oh, I've got the label here so I could have a look. Yes, 7.5 and a US 9.5. Yeah, I like these. Really nice, soft and supple suede. The soles are rubber and actually quite a good sort of non-slip as well. My only issue is my right foot is bigger than my left foot, and it feels ever so slightly snug on my right foot. So that's just something that I'm going to have to decide on when I'm sort of making the decision between which pair that I'm going to keep, because I don't need to keep both pairs because they're so similar. Now, second pair are these, and these ones are $39.99. Sorry, I forgot to mention the other ones were $34.99, so not much of a price difference between the two. And as I said a minute ago, these ones have the collapsible heel. If you're ever unsure if a shoe has a collapsible heel, you can always tell by this diagonal stitching along the back. Again, fabric wise, really nice soft suede. Because they're a light colour, they're not super practical. They're probably going to get dirty quite quickly, so they're definitely going to need some suede protector, and in the rain, an absolute no-go once again. Right, now that is all of my newest items that I have purchased this week from H&M, but I do have a couple of items here which you might recognise because you might have seen them in previous videos. I'm going to show you those. I'm not going to try them on here and now, but you'll see in the cutaways. So this dress you will recognise from, I think it was my last video before this one. It was a vlog, and I did some trying on of some outfits to wear for Simon's brother's wedding, which was in Germany. This is actually what I went for, and I know none of you saw it on Instagram or on stories or anything. It was a family day, so didn't use social media, just really enjoyed the day. And this is actually what I went for, and I'm so happy I did. When I got dressed in it in the morning, I felt so good. I felt comfortable. I felt a little bit sexy because it's quite low cut, as you'll be able to see from the cutaways. I would say it's definitely wedding appropriate though. If perhaps you're a little bit more bigger boobed, then you could wear like a little cami top underneath so that there's not so much cleavage. But it's such a nice occasion wear dress, really high quality. This one is from the Trend collection. It was just beautiful. It was perfect for the occasion. It was actually perfect for the weather because we had a beautiful spring day. It was one of those wedding miracles, and yeah, it was just such a good dress. And I'm actually going to wear this again to another wedding that I've got in June. Now, another item that I bought, I think this was about 2 months ago now, you might have seen a little fitting room selfie that I did, was these trousers. They're like a cropped, wide leg, I guess you could call them a culotte. They come on me sort of just above the ankle. It's a nice interesting length for summer. A little bit tricky with shoes. I would probably either wear flats or like a nice court shoe. Got some belt loops on there as well, the front crease and then the turn up detail. And they're in this really nice sort of olive khaki green colour. Really like the fabric. It's kind of like a mixture between denim and a cotton twill fabric. But yeah, very much up my street in terms of colourway, and just a nice interesting trouser to wear for spring summer. I've got some stuff here which is a little bit older, so I referenced these linen vests earlier on. These are a staple of mine. They constantly go in and out of storage as I turn over my wardrobe between the seasons, and I just love them. If they come out with any more colours of these, I will buy them, and they have lasted me years. Another basic which has been in my wardrobe for years from H&M is this black and sort of off-white, more of a creamy colour stripe. I have yet to find another striped basic that I love as much as this one. I would really like one in a navy and white stripe that is identical to this. So H&M, if anyone out there from H&M is watching, can you please make this again in navy and white, and even probably black and white again, so that everyone else can get it. It's just really nice soft fabric. It washes well. I've washed this hundreds of times probably. I would say this is 2, maybe 3 years old. I'm not entirely sure, but I love it. Next is this, and actually lastly is this jumper. Now actually this isn't that old. I bought this, I think I actually bought this at the same time as these trousers, but I couldn't find it online. I think this sold out very quickly. It is from the Trend collection. It's a size medium, and this is a mohair and wool blend. I have washed this about 8 times already. I wore this almost every single day in Japan because I didn't really pack a lot for Japan because I knew we wouldn't really be taking photos and stuff, but this kept me warm. It's navy blue, it's ribbed, super cozy. I personally don't find that it itches. I was going to say it smells really good, but that is not, obviously H&M do not provide the smell. That is my eco-friendly mohair washing liquid that does that. And there we have it, another one of my favourite brands broken down and reviewed for you. If you've got any favourites from my selection here, let me know down in the comments section below. And I'd also like to mention that today H&M do have their new Conscious line launching. Now I realise today for me is Thursday. This is today. This is when the new collection is launching. However, you guys won't be watching this video until Sunday, so I really hope that there's some of that collection left. They haven't paid me or asked me to mention that. It's just that I really like their Conscious collection, so I thought I would let you guys know. So yes, I'm going to sign off this video here. Thank you so much for watching. It's really good to be back, and I will catch you guys next week. Bye!